Well, hello and welcome back. We're on day 4 of the 5 days of use. So I'm glad you made it this far. Today, we're going to be combining all of the hard work that we did on days 1 through 3. And we're going to discuss how to create a mission statement for yourself. And then we're going to go over how to set SMART goals for the new year, new you. And regardless of whether the new year, new you starts in January, February, March, April, May, whenever it starts, we want you to be able to set those goals for yourself as you go forward. It's going to be a little bit longer today. Maybe we got about 32 slides, so I might get a little bit more dry. So uh, we're all friends here. So if I pick up the water and take a gulp, just take that in stride. But anyway, here we go. We're going to get into it now with what is your purpose. Now, I hope you had an opportunity to take in the 5 days of you devotional that I put out this morning, or it's in the files here. If not, go back and catch that as we continue, because I think it's very, very relevant to what is your purpose. Because if you're like most people, you have no idea how to answer that question. We kind of went over that yesterday, the day before, because you've never considered it, and that's really unfortunate, because you really need to consider what your purpose is here, right? Companies have a mission statement, and you should consider creating one for your own life. And how can you make the best plans and decisions for yourself if you lack a mission statement? So it's just combining the goals and all these types of things and saying, this is what I want to do. And again, like anything else, this document it's morphing all the time. It's going to change probably every year, maybe several times a year. That's why one of the things why I go with a 12-week year, because every 12 weeks I get an opportunity to reassess. So it's something we'll be talking about a little bit later as well when we talk about tomorrow. We're doing some great things tomorrow as well. But this is how you can make, the question is how you can make the best plans and decisions for yourself if you lack a mission statement. Well, let's talk about actually, writing a mission statement. Happy fingers again this morning. But there are 3 primary benefits. One, it forces you to consider what your purpose in life is. So it kind of says, hey, okay, if we're going to do one, we got to know what this is, right? You don't want to be some, like a picture in the back here, some ship just kind of drifting around. You want to know where you're headed, right? It also gives your life direction and something you can use to measure yourself by. So, and you say, well, that kind of sounds like a goal to me. Well, it combines goals. I mean, we're putting everything together, all of our purpose, all of our passions, all of our who, goes into a mission statement. And the bottom line is, there's no reason not to create a mission statement for your life, because it's really going to put you one step ahead as you go and start setting your goals and achieving those goals. Now, to create a mission statement and give your life direction and purpose, we've got some strategies here for you. We actually spelled it right this time. Everybody talking about strategy in the A to B for me strategy, but we're talking about regular strategies this time. And number 1 is determine the person you want to be. And again, you'll say, well, yeah, we talked about things several times, because the more we talk about them, the better chances they're going to sink in, right? So you want to imagine the person you would be prouder being. In other words, who is that person? I mean, chest up, and this is me, and it's who I am. What characteristics does that person possess? So you want to kind of just put it out there like a third person type thing. What characteristics would that person possess? It's going to be you. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt and assume that you can become anything you desire. So just open it up, kind of like we did just today. We're just writing. But now give yourself the benefit of the doubt and assume that you can become anything you desire, because you really can't. Yeah. But who would you want to be if you could, anything that your heart desires? Who would you want to be, and what qualities do you want to stand for? And that gets back into our core values that we've been talking about. So review the slide. Who do you want to be, and what qualities do you want to stand for? The second thing is going to be you want to consider your heroes. Whom do you look up to? And of course, you want to do a little perspective on that of why. I mean, why do you look up to that person? The people you most admire can leave clues about what is most important and impressive to you. And we're always looking for clues. We're looking for clues in our journals. We're looking for clues in our daily life, in our reflection. We're always looking for clues. But the people you most admire can leave clues about what is most important and impressive to you. So, whose life would you like to live? And now don't want to get into jealousy and all this kind of stuff, but yeah, just looking out there, whose life would you want to live? Um, it can even be someone from the past. So looking back, so man, that person did some really really great things, and if I could just live a life like they did, that would be awesome. So think about that. Or whom did you admire when you were a child? It might be a relative or a neighbor or someone that is in your past. Maybe they're still around, and you could reach out to them. And maybe we're talking about mentors. Maybe we're talking about successful people in companies that you've worked for, people in the church, or just people in your community. But consider who your heroes are. Yeah, when you're looking at putting together your mission statement, who you're going to be. Look online for a few examples that can inspire you as far as what a mission statement looks like. I mean, there's several CEOs and other famous people out there that have posted their personal mission statements for the world to see. So if you want some examples, get out there. If you're in the A to B for Me community, we've got a lot of examples for you in the resources tab, but you can take a look at them there. But check out a few and see if anything appeals to you. So we've talked about this probably. Well, I guess if you haven't taken deep dive Destiny, you haven't heard. But we talked about that there aren't a lot of new and unique ideas. For me, I believe that there probably hadn't been a lot since the Book of Proverbs was written. It's all in there. But you want to check out and see that there's nothing wrong with borrowing some content. So if you see some nice mission statements out there and you want to borrow some of that content, go ahead, borrow it, and help you formulate your own mission statement. Imagine looking back on your life. Now, this is kind of interesting. You want to picture yourself, on your deathbed and go, "Oh my God, we went from exciting to morbid here." But let's look at it realistically. You're on your deathbed. What would you like to see when you look back on your life? I mean, what legacy do you want to leave behind? I've always, and that's really what, most of us will get further down the road that we start thinking about is legacy. I keep a picture on my bookshelf. I talked about being in scouting yesterday, and we took a trip out to Philmont, which is a high adventure camp in Cimarron, New Mexico. And towards the end of the trek, we found a beautiful site to take a picture of the entire group. And I think there was 13, 14 of us. And on the left side of it, there's a space left because the guy taking the picture said, "I'll take the picture and then I'm going to Photoshop. Then we'll take a picture of me and then I'll Photoshop me in there." Well, I never got the Photoshop picture. They never sent me one. I guess I just never requested one, but because I'm in the one that, but there's a space. There's all of us, and there's a space, and then there's another person, and so I mean, it always reminds me, what happens, when you're out of the picture. I mean, did you leave a legacy? Does anybody remember who you are, what you stood for? Do you remember what you in the picture, what you even looked like? I know who took the picture, but it's hard, remembering exactly what he looked like. So it's just something that I keep up there just to remind me that a legacy is important because you want to leave something behind. You want to leave some trace that you were here, right? And having regret at this stage in your life just would be a tragic thing. It certainly would. And one of the things I talk about the Phoenix Journal all the time, and sooner or later you'll go up to A to B from each store and you'll get you one because it's just a phenomenal journal. But in there's a section that talks about writing down the future that you fear. Because sometimes visualizing the future that you fear, the things that you don't want to happen in your life, can be as powerful, if not more powerful, than visualizing the future that you desire. Because in most decisions, sales, whatever it is, fear is generally a greater contributor to making a decision than desire sometimes. So think about that when you're looking at your mission statement, visualizing the future that you fear that you don't want to happen. Now I don't take that in every day. I write it out and I look at it occasionally, but I don't want to take that negativity in every day. But it is there. You need to know what that future looks like. Um, you can prevent this by considering this circumstance today. So that's what we do in the journal. We put it out there. What don't I want to happen in my life? And that will the inverse to that is, oh, how can I make that not happen? Right. So that's what you want to look at. All right. Well, let's talk about write your mission statement. You have enough information now to write your mission statement. All the stuff that we've gone through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll be doing goals here in a little bit. But try limiting yourself to a single paragraph and hone in on the essential elements. So we don't want this thing to be ad nauseum. We want something short, sweet that you can remember, that you can recite, that you can affirm on a daily basis. Now, it starts out long, obviously. Just I don't know how many pages you got. Did you get 100 things? Did you get 400? I don't know how many you got yesterday when we were talking about your life purpose. But you want to describe the mission for your life, right? What's going to be on that tombstone? What did you do? What did you stand for? There's no reason to feel tied down to anything you write right now, because like I said, this thing evolves, it changes over time. But the bottom line is you're in control of this. You're in control of what happens. You're in control of your destiny. But you can always make adjustments to it as you go forward. But you've got to get started and get a working document going, right? So let's start working on that. You want to set appropriate goals. Again, after this little section here, we're going to go into goals deeper. But now that you have a general direction in your life, you want to set some goals that support the mission statement. So that's why it's so important to know this before you can do that. And people out here, they're setting goals, setting goals, setting goals. And when I sit down with them and say, well, why did you set that goal? Well, so and so, did that, or that might be a great thing or whatever, but it has nothing to do with your mission in life. So you want to know who you are, what you want, what your passions, all these things before you can make relevant goals. So, and then you want, what can you do today to begin living the life you desire? There's going to be a tomorrow, but why wait? There might not be a tomorrow, but what can you do today to begin living the life you desire? Now is where it's at. Now is where it's at. And what kind of goals would the person you describe in the first step, that person, that third party out there that you saw, what kind of goals would that person uh, pursue? So think about that. And sometimes it's easy to take it into a third person and just have this description of this person that's out here, and then what type of goal would that person have? So, hey, whatever it takes to get it done, right? But here's the bottom line: get busy. I mean, this can be the challenging part. Many of us like imagining and we like planning, but we balk when it's time to actually take the action. And we talked about before with the vision boards and with the passion boards. Those are fun. Those are nice. Yeah, get your scissors out, get your cut and paste, get your glue stick. All these are fun. Look at all these pretty pictures. But you have to take action. Got to have an action board, or none of that stuff's going to happen. So imagining and planning is fun, but Lord, we got to take some action, right? So avoid allowing this step to halt your progress. Just get it going, and let's not look back. Now is the time. Reevaluate. Again, you want to take stock regularly. Do you need to modify your mission statement or your goals? Again, I believe 12 weeks is the way to go, especially in these times. We really don't know where we're going to be in 6 months, sometimes, or 9 months. So doing it every 3 months just seems like a smart thing to me. But what can you do to make them better? What is working for you and what is not working. See, and that's key too, because when we get into goals, we want to talk about actionable. And sometimes goals aren't really actionable. They're not working for you and what's not working. So it's always reflect, plan, and execute. You got to reflect every week, every day on what happened yesterday and why didn't this work and why, what was going wrong there. So again, 12-week year, we're going to have a deep dive on that as well. You probably want to get into that. But I would really consider that because that's really going to help you make these moves if you need to make them. Your mission in life may be a moving target as you age and mature. We've talked about the same thing with your passions and desires. As you get older, that target changes. Trust me. I know. you know your experiences will also change your perspective on life. So as you gain in knowledge, and as you fail more, people, oh, well, you talk about failing for. Hey, failing is the deal. I'm telling you, that's where you learn. That's how you succeed through failure. You know what not to do now. You've been educated, but your experiences are also going to change your perspective on life, and that's a good thing. All right. Well, a mission statement forces you, to evaluate your interests, your values, and your priorities in life. You also consider your death and your legacy. So don't put that out there. I mean, I've got one mentor who has. I think I've talked about this before, maybe in this program, but I know I didn't deep dive to destiny. Where I think the average age now for a male is 88 or 87 or something in there. Subtract your current age, and that's how many days you got left. Uh, you talk about morbid, that is a morbid way to look at it. But it's, oh my God, I've only got 600 to 900,000 day, whatever it is left. But also consider your death and your legacy, because you don't want to leave the planet and there not be a trace. You just don't want to do that. Make some impact, because you're cheating the people that are here. You're cheating the people that are left behind if you don't get out there and do use your gifts that we talked about in the devotional this morning. Get out there and help people. If you want the best possible chance of living an amazing life, I'm telling you, a mission statement is crucial, and you can probably you go around and talk to your current uh, database, all your friends and people that are going to be coming over for holidays or whatever it is, people you hang out with, uh, and ask them who here has a mission statement. And I tell you what, ain't nothing going to be raised except a beer, maybe, because people just don't have them. But if you want to live an amazing life and want all the things that you want to hit your destiny, you need to be thinking about your mission statement, because it is absolutely crucial. All the super successful people have them. Trust me. So, what's your mission? Take the time to complete this important exercise. Get in there, take a look at, let's get it done. Now, you're bound to learn things about yourself that you never knew, and you're absolutely going to re-energize your passion for living by doing this. So, and don't keep it to yourself. The folks around you are going to have to be involved in this if you're going to succeed. So don't keep it close to your chest here. Let's be sure that you get out there and share it, and include people in it, because you want it to work for yourself. All right. Well, next up, goals. We're going to talk about SMART goals. So let's get into it right now. The second part of this program, which is how to set SMART goals for the new year. And again, the new year doesn't mean January 1. It may, but whatever day you decide you're going to start your new year, your new you. Okay. Well, here we go. One of the best ways to guarantee goal setting success is to ensure that each of your goals or New Year's resolutions fits the SMART formula. And we're going to have an entire program here in a couple of weeks, I think August 26th, something like that, about ways to keep your New Year's resolutions, but hopefully they'll fit the SMART formula as well. Now, SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. Now, you may see actually some changes in these as you go looking, or maybe you're doing them now and you're saying, well, man, my A is actionable. That's the one I really like anyway. My A is attainable. My A is assignable. Well, yeah, okay. Well, we're going to discuss what the different A's may be. Sometimes it's realistic. You probably see relevant out there as well. Maybe some other R's, but we're going to discuss those today. But for sure, specific, measurable, and timely are pretty consistent as people go through and talk about SMART goals in this acronym. But when your goals have these characteristics, you are just much likelier to achieve them. So let's get going in it, and let's talk about goal setting success. All right. Well, setting short term, medium term, long-term goals for yourself is as a key to success in life. Now, we talked about this a few days ago. What is a short-term goal to you? That to you is the part of it. What is a short-term goal? Again, my short-term is 12 weeks. What's a medium-term goal? Well, medium-term for me is 12 months. What's long-term? Well, long-term for me is 2 to 5 years, somewhere in there. But you have to decide what that is in your life. You can use whatever structure you want, but I tell you, your short-term goals just need to be something that you can really, you know, they're there to help you reach your medium, and your medium are there to help you reach your long. So if you make your short term really long, your chances of going in and being able to change those and modify are really going to mess up your long term, because your reaction time is going to be too slow. So think about your time frames here. If there are things that you want to achieve or ways that you want to grow, setting goals as stepping stones is an important point to get a part of getting there. So that's what we're talking about. You want smaller things that you can control right now, because we don't know what's going to happen in the medium. We can hopefully control what's in the short, but we may not be able to control the medium as well, and we darn sure may not be able to control the long. So you want to be able to be light on your feet and be able to change these if you need to, and modify your action to get there. But follow this strategy to set the SMART goals, and we're going to talk about the S being specific. Now, this means that your goals should be basically, numbers based, or have a specific goal in mind. So a specific area for improvement. A SMART goal may be go from 165 to 155 in pounds, or touch my toes without bending my knees. That's interesting, but both are specific goals. Without any vague phrasing left open for interpretation. So exactly, I don't know what that question mark's doing on there, but you know exactly what it is. I mean, I want to go from here to there. So there's no question about what the specific goal is, right? And the more specific your goals are, the clearer it will be when you finally achieve them. Because your brain has to know. You want to keep all the vagueness out of it, so your brain knows exactly what we want to do. And again, I'm not going to get into how we'll get into a little bit of how you measure it here, but specific things. But if you've got weight, if you've got your body fat, whatever it is, if you're talking about fitness, those types of things, get as many measures as you can, so that you have precise points that you know that you're achieving that goal and going to be able to achieve the big thing, right? So break your large goals into smaller short-term goals and medium-term goals, like we talked about before, with each smaller goal phrased just as specifically. So you got a big goal, here's what I'm going to do, then you break it down and break it down. And you want to do that in order for them to be attainable and achievable. So in my planner, in the Phoenix Journal, I've got at the beginning, I've got all my short-term medium-term and long-term goals, and then I actually have 4 goals for the next 12 weeks that I want to achieve and all the action steps and things I have to do. And then every week, I'll break that down into 4 more goals. So I have macro goals and KPIs, key productive indicators, and key actions that keep me on track for that week, right? So you just keep breaking it down as much as you can, daily, weekly, monthly, and just keep going from there. And that way you have control and you're able to, like I said, be swift on your feet if something comes up, and you can rebound from these things, because in all this stuff you need to understand things are not going to go as planned. And as long as your thought process is not doom and gloom, but your thought process is that, hey, if I have to react, I'll react, but I'm still going to get there. In other words, if someone puts a fence in front of me, I'm gonna know how to jump over it, or I want to have me some wire cutters or something to get through it. Right? If the door slams, I'm gonna knock the daggone thing down, whatever it is. Right? But you want to be prepared for that, because you don't want to be going along in unicorn and rainbows land and thinking, oh, everything's gonna be fine, and all of a sudden something bad happens, and you're all down the mouth, and you get best case scenario, you get just thrown off track for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. But worst case is you just totally give up, right? But you have to be prepared and know that there are going to be issues as you go through this. So just be prepared for them and be positive about it, because that's another opportunity for you to grow. When things don't go right, it's not woe is me. Well, God doesn't love me. Blah 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 blah. No, it gives you an opportunity to grow, and so and that will allow you to assist other people when they hit those roadblocks. It's good all the way around. So don't ever fear failure. It's an opportunity for you to grow and get on down the road. All right. Sermon's over. All right. Well, SMART goals are measurable. Um, this is another reason why SMART goals are numbers based in a lot of cases. To know whether or not you achieved a goal, you must be able to measure your progress, right? You want to quantify, or at least suggest an indicator of progress in this. And SMART goals are goals that you can track and measure that have a clear end or point of attainment. So when you look at them, you want to know, hey, when is this thing going to be over? Okay, how long do I have to do this? Because action is really an equation. Action equals your desire over the time frame that desire needs to happen, right? So if you have a desire, what I want, and you've got how long it is before you need to have that done, you take those two, and that's going to determine the amount of action you're going to have to achieve that goal. So action is nothing other than an equation of desire over the time needed to get it done. So that's a big point of measurable goals. Now, being able to measure your progress is really important in goal setting and goal achievement, obviously, because if you can't measure it, then how are you going uh, to set bigger goals? How are you going to know when you miss a mark if you can't measure it? So it's very, very important. And it helps you determine whether or not you're moving in the right direction. Since you can't clearly track and measure both positive and negative progress along the way, you want to be able to measure that, because if you had a setback, you want to know what caused that, and you want to be able to track that. And that's why daily tracking. That's why you need a journal that every day, daily, reflect, plan, execute, reflect on what happened. What did I get done? What didn't I get done? Why didn't it happen? What were the things? And then plan for the next day around those setbacks and those small micro failures, and then go forward and plan again and then execute. That's just what you want to do. So whether it's positive or negative at the end of the day, just take it as data and move forward with the plan that you need to get the job done. Now, part 3 of this is that they're achievable. Okay. Now, we talked about several different terms here. I like actionable because I'm not going to set something I mean, when we talk about achievable or attainable, that doesn't mean easy, and that's my problem with the word achievable or attainable, because people think, oh well, I don't want to set big old goals because that's not going to be achieved. That's not the point. You want to always make stretch goals. I also like challenging here, but that just screws up the acronym. but I think your SMART goals should be challenging. Um, but you certainly don't want to make something easy, because it's just like if you go upstairs, or I go upstairs to work out, but if I go up and I'm going to do squats and I'm going to use 3 pound dumbbells, well, what the heck is that going to do? Right. I mean, yeah, I can do that. So, hey, yeah, I got my goal. Well, what kind of goal was that, dude? 3 pounds, really? You want something out there rough, whatever it is. My income goals, you look at them, you're like, dude, you seriously think you're going to be able to do that? Well, yeah, I do seriously think I'm going to do it. But, what if I miss it by 25%? That's still pretty dang good. So set them out there and get them going. Make some stretch goals, all of them. Also, they have assignable sometimes. A is assignable. Well, if you ever see that assignable, just means the fact that you're working with a team. So you're able to assign particular parts of this goal to somebody else. So you might see A for assignable, but I like actionable, because you do want it to be something that you control, something that you can act on. So you don't want to have a goal out there that, of world peace. Well, what the heck? How are you going to accomplish world peace? I mean, it's going to take a lot of folks to do that, right? So make your goal something that is actionable, that you can actually control, and your action will make it happen. But again, I like actionable and I like them challenging. But SMART goals, ones that you can actually attain. They're not extremely far fetched. Like if I said I want to lose 100 pounds in 90 days, well, I guess that could happen, but there's just not really. I mean, unless I just do something radical, I guess I could take out most of my, intestines or something and not eat anything. But man, losing a pound a day, I mean, that's just not healthy. So why set it? But SMART goals that you're physically and mentally capable of achieving, and that really is true, physical and mental. I mean, mentally, you got to be able to pull the thing off. So just don't make something out there that you don't want to set yourself up for failure. But again, you don't want to allow yourself not to have challenging something out there to keep you going and keep things exciting in your life, right? So SMART goals are also realistic. Now, and this kind of goes back to me, realistic and attainable are kind of the same thing. So some people prefer relevant. Relevant meaning it's pertinent to your chosen field, or it's going to benefit you directly. Relevant could be in SMART goals, relevant to whatever goal area you're looking at. If I say, yeah, I want to make $10,000 a month, is that relevant to my social goals? Well, maybe I can have a lot more fun socially, but is it really relevant to that particular goal? So in SMART goals, I think you want them also to be relevant. But SMART goals not only attainable, but in the form of realistically attainable, because a lot of people do use realistic as they are. They're a combination between specific achievement that you can reach and a time frame that realistically coordinates with that achievement. So in the realm of realistic, the specific achievement and the time frame, so that it's something that can actually happen. In other words, again, you're not going to lose 100 pounds in 90 days type thing. Okay. So for that reason, the SMART goal would be lose 10 pounds in 90 days. That is absolutely attainable for a healthy weight loss of 3 to 4 pounds per month. It's not going to be mentally racking. It's not going to be physically draining. Or rather than saying, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this week. Well, I mean, yeah, there are wrestlers that can go out there and they got to make weight. They can drop a ton of weight, but it's just total dehydration to get them down. So you can be done, but is it recommended and is it healthy, and is it something that you really want to do, right? So set them where it makes some sense. Now, my good buddy Jack Canfield with Success Principles. Uh, he prefers to put an exact time on these as well. So if you had a goal, we'll talk about that here in a little bit because we're going to be talking about timely. But you might want to say, I want to lose, 10 pounds by Monday, December 21st, 2020 at 12:01 a.m. Well, that is pretty darn specific right there. So now your brain is set up to say, oh, okay, all right, it's not 90 days, it's a date and it's a time. So we have got to get going. And you might want to put yourself a countdown clock for yourself so you can pull these things off. Also, I like non-limiting verbiage on these things. So lose 10 pounds in 90 days or something better. Uh, because you don't want your brain, and we're going to talk about brain a lot because I tell you, your thoughts are really your power. But so you don't want your brain saying, okay, we're at 9, so we're close to 10. We can back off a little bit. No, no. 10, let's say 10 pounds or something better. Because what if you back off a little bit and just squeak in and get that 10 pounds, right? So I would always tend to put dot, dot, dot or something better in any of my goals. I want to make $10,000 this month or something better. Don't limit yourself. If you can, if it goes over, hey, awesome, right? So think about that as well. All right, here we are about timely. Okay, now they have to have time frames and realistic ones at that. We just talked about that. But when you put a realistic time frame on your goal, it gives you something to work for and something to look at every single morning. Because that's when we look at things. We look at these things every single morning, and then we reflect and we plan and we execute at the end of the day about what we're going to do tomorrow. Now, to simply lose 10 pounds without a time frame, that lacks total motivation. Seriously, you're going to lose 10 pounds when? By the time you die? I mean, yeah, seriously. I mean, when are you going to lose it? You have to have some type of time frame, or you're not going to be motivated to do anything about it. Now, lose 10 pounds by my birthday, that has a realistic time frame as long as your birthday isn't tomorrow. So just make it fully realistic. But again, I would put the date, your birth date. I would put the time on there and give your brain something really, really to go after, so that you can make this thing happen. And that gives you something to work for and a date for completion. Okay, so take a look at all that and put it all together, and always remember that when you go out and you look at these things every day, one of the things that you want to do is really in your meditations is just it's just the power of the law of attraction and attract these things into your life. Start, how can how can I get these things that I want? How can I attain these things? How can I help these people I need to help? You want to be able to attract them into your world and into your universe. So that's part of what we talk about in the success principles and some of the other courses that we have going on. But losing 10 pounds by your birthday, again, that can be a very realistic time frame, and that's the main thing you want to do, of course, unless it isn't tomorrow. Now, let's talk about the bottom line here. Okay, here is the bottom line. Setting smart goals is the best way to guarantee success at setting and achieving goals for what you want in your life. Okay, so once you get your mission statement, you know what you want, then you can go in there and start setting these smart goals and start achieving them to get what you want in life. Now, by setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, you can and will achieve the success you deserve. And I'll say that again, you can and will achieve it as long as you set these goals. And a lot of folks say, well, I've done a lot of goal setting before. Well, no, you probably haven't. Okay. I mean, if you had, you wouldn't be here. I mean, so get out there and let's take what we've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and today. Let's combine this all together and let's get your plan going. And then tomorrow, well, I'm going to put a link in here for these 2 PowerPoints for you, so you got the PDF for them. Now, if you're in the A to B for Me community, the network, if you're not, it should be. You can go to the website and figure out how to do that. We're going to have, as always, a bunch of worksheets, some other tip sheets and things to help you with your mission statement and setting up your goals. Those are all in the resources tab. So just hop up there and snag them. They'll be there this afternoon. All right. Well, tomorrow is Stay on Track Day. And we're going to be wrapping up the 5 days of you. Oh, it's sad, man, only 5 days, but we can go back and look at it again. But we're going to be uncovering the 9 tips to achieve anything you desire. Can you imagine? There's only 9 of them to achieve anything you desire. And we're going to give you the link, like I said earlier in the week, to our 27-page ebook, Happy New You. And that's going to be absolutely free. We're going to be over a little bit of the content of that tomorrow as well. But that's there for you to further assist you on this journey. It goes over change, it goes over habits, formations, and these types of things. So it's a very, very good ebook, and we'll review that for you tomorrow. But you don't want to miss it. So be ready for tomorrow for day 5. But until then, as always, keep moving in the direction of your dreams. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great one.